All right, good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see all of you. Thanks for joining us today at our 2022 Creative District Convening. We're hoping that this is going to be the last virtual convening that we ever have to do. So if everything goes well in the world, we'll be able to come together next year together in person to be able to do our Creative District Convening. We're going to go ahead and just do a couple of housekeeping items really quickly before we begin. One of the things that we would like you all to do is to change your name on your little view screen. So Adrian, if you can just stop sharing the screen for a moment so we're able to have everybody, so people can see themselves. So if you mouse over, if you don't know how to do this, if you mouse over your picture, in the view screen, you'll see at the top, there's like a mute button, and then there's a little blue button right next to it with 3 dots. If you click on that, you should see at the bottom of the drop-down list where it says rename. And so go ahead and just rename yourself. You can leave your first name in there. And then after that, put the name of your creative district, just the city, or in SoCo's case, you could just put SoCo because that's the name of it. So that way we're able to see who is from where, because not everybody knows each other's last name. We have several new folks this year joining us, and so we want to make sure folks know what that looks like. All right, awesome. So we have some people who are following directions well. Thank you all. I see some folks that I haven't seen for quite a long time, so wonderful. And also, if you do want to put your in your name, feel free to do so. It's not required. We know some folks are not comfortable with sharing that necessarily, and we don't want to force anyone. So, but if you want to, feel free to do so. For those of you that are new to this group, my name is Annette Roth, and I'm the Community Development Manager here at Washington State Arts Commission. I am joined today in the background by Adrian Kerrigan. Adrian, you want to say hi?
Hi, my name's Adrian Kerrigan, and I'm here to support Annette, and I use she, her pronouns.
Thanks, Adrian's in our community relations team. She is the woman behind the curtain today. So if you run into any technical issues or you have some kind of thing that, you got to skate really quickly or something like that, just let her know, just do a private chat for her. So that way, we're aware of everything that's going on. So welcome, everyone. I think we're just going to go ahead and begin, even though we have a couple folks who have been registered. That's okay. Hopefully we have full representation from all of the creative districts. We're keeping track. So if any creative districts aren't represented, they're going to get a demerit, unfortunately, because this is a required activity. So let's see here. What we're going to do is we are going to start introducing ourselves by creative district. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. So we'll introduce all the creative districts. I'm going to try to get them in order, chronological order by memory. So we'll see how well we do. We're going to save our 2 newest creative districts for last. So that would be folks from Moses Lake and Burien. So we have something a little more spotlighty special for all of you. So we want to give you some extra time to talk about your district and introduce yourselves. So what I'd like to be able to do is have everyone who is from a district, what I call the district out, use the hand raise feature to raise your hand so your little hand shows up. So that way we know who is with us. And we'll go ahead and have you all introduce yourselves, share your item or your little your project that you made that demonstrates your creative district. And then we will go from there. So we're going to start at the top with our first creative district, which was Edmonds. So folks from Edmonds, if you can use the hand feature, this one under reactions in your tool. Yep, there you go. Donna's got it. Todd's got it. So if you click in there's a sort of tool menu at the bottom of your screen and it says reactions, raise hand is there. All right. So Ryan, you're using the clap thing, but that's okay. So we know that it's who that is because it disappears, Ryan. So that's why we want to make sure everybody use the raise hand thing. Okay, awesome. So we've got our folks from Edmonds here. I'm going to start with Todd, and then I'll just call everyone up. So Todd, feel free to introduce.
All right, so this is where we share our thing.
Yep, exactly. Introduce who you are, what your role is, and then you know what that item that represents your district is.
Okay. Well, so my name is Todd Tatum. I'm the Community Services and Economic Development Director for the City of Edmonds. I've been here about 9 weeks, going on 10. So I'm just getting my feet under me, which it's been great. And you know, just to keep it short, because I know we have a lot of people, I got the box, which thank you. That's pretty incredible. And I sat here and struggled a little bit with what could I make or what could I do. So maybe this is a cop out, maybe not, but I think I'll use myself as the thing that represents the creative district because you know, I'm not super creative. Nothing came into my mind. I'm not gonna be able to draw a picture or anything, but I love the arts. I love the arts. I love to be connected to them. I love to be close to them, and I think that is one of the things that's so special about our creative district is it does give people like me who love the arts but may not be able to be neck deep in it themselves, the accessibility to the arts. You know, you get to be around artists, you get to be around art, you get to live in a beautiful place that you can really appreciate. And so maybe a cop out, but that'll be my thing I share myself.
No, thanks for that. Thank you for being honest. I appreciate that. You know, we need to have folks who aren't creative, who enjoy the arts as much as people who make them. So thanks for joining us and congratulations again on your relatively new position. Next, we'll go to Francis. Francis, you're muted.
Yep, I realize. Hi, I'm Frances Chapin. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Cultural Services Manager for the City of Edmonds. So Cultural Services is now under Economic Development and Community Services with Todd's department. So that's actually an exciting move for us in terms of the creative district. And so I'm going to pick up on something Todd said about accessibility. And I think one of the things that really characterizes our creative district in Edmonds is there is just such a large range of cultural and creative activities in that downtown area. And it's pretty exciting and it's accessible. It's a really rich collection of arts and culture and creative activities. And when I was thinking about it, I'm not going to share something that is actually my creative endeavor, although maybe partially, but I'm going to share something that my grandson just painted. So if you can see it, it's a big fish surrounded by lots of little fish and anemones and clams and all sorts of sea life. And I think what resonated with me is that he loves coming to Edmonds. He's 8 years old. He wants to be an artist. And he loves being in downtown Edmonds because there's so many things going on. And it's very inclusive for people of all ages, all people. So to me, that's one of the really special things about Edmonds.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that picture from your grandson. It's really great. I love it. I hope you're going to frame it because it's a good one. Donna from Edmonds.
Hi, Donna Stewart. I've been on the Creative District Council since we started it, and it's been a ton of fun. My role is the resident at large, so I am sitting on the council to help ensure that all of our residents are thought of as we start to continue to develop this council or this district. So the creative piece, I will say, I am one of those jack of all trades type artists. I love to paint, I love to dance, I love to sing. And I am not doing any of them professionally, but it is a ton of fun. Yesterday, I was in a meeting because I work actually from home. So I'm in these meetings, these virtual meetings all the time. I was in a meeting and I was playing with our toy because I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'm just getting a lot of inspiration. And they had the little person you could make. Here we go. And I just kind of took what they did in the little thing and made it my own. So I made a little tiny person.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great, because people are the things that make up the good districts. That's great. Thank you for joining us. Finally, from Edmonds, Ryan.
Thanks, Annette. So my name is Ryan Crowther. I'm the new president and CEO of the Edmonds Chamber of Commerce. Similar to Todd, I am just wrapping up my 4th month, so I'm fairly new to the position and also brand new on the group here for the creative district. So I'm excited to listen in today. When I really thought of kind of an asset that sticks out to me, my history is last 10 years I've been putting on music festivals and events up north in Everett, and obviously kind of music and sort of that creative space is near and dear to me. And when I see what the Edmonds Center for the Arts has been able to do with really having an opportunity for touring artists, that I think is really the neatest asset to me, because when you have a welcoming space that you can not only host local artists, but also have the infrastructure and staff and resources to really bring touring artists through your community, I think that's a massive thing. So what they've done is really neat, and that is definitely the one that sticks out for me.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much for introducing yourselves. You can lower your hands now, so that way we can bring up the next district. For those of you that are relatively new, Edmonds was our first district. They were certified in December of 2018, right, Francis? It's been that long ago. So thanks again. Next we have Chewelah. So Chewelah folks, use the hand raise thing. See Lynn, Chuck, Susan. All right, is that everyone from Chewelah? Yeah, okay, awesome. All right, great. So Lynn, why don't you kick it off?
Hi, everyone. My name is Lynn, and I've been with the Creative District since we first started forming it, all those, I don't know how many, 3 years ago now. It seems like it's gone by quick. And I'm just really proud of the work that's been done by our community and by our board in particular. But one of our taglines is bringing community and creatives together. And so my art project was a little bridge. Oops, gotta find the right spot. And then, oops, and then a person can be, and then I made a little person to go over the bridge. So hopefully that's getting our people together with the resources they need to make the creative endeavors and display those their work creatively in our community. And there's just so much good stuff going on. It's hard to even cover it all, but I'm just wanting to share how much I appreciate this process and what it's brought to our community. And I pass.
All right, thanks, Lynn. All right, next we have Chuck. It's good to see you again, Chuck.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, good morning. Hey, so yeah, my name is Chuck Ritchie. I am the vice president of the Chewelah Creative District. I've also, like Lynn, we've been there since, you know, we met in the theater about this. Hey, what's this creative district thing? And gone through all the meetings and the certifications, and it's been a ride for sure. What I've brought today is a piece of art from a young local artist who was actually featured a couple months ago, I think 2-3 months ago at one of our events. Actually ended up buying a piece from them. This piece is leather. Every piece that you see there, if you can see those are different slices of leather. And these flowers are handmade also out of leather. They're an amazing artist who obviously I always was an artist. We didn't change that, but um, this particular person is a friend of mine actually, and they had had troubles sort of reaching out, sort of getting out there. And I think one of the big things that's happened to them recently is they did, after getting involved in doing a show, gained a lot of confidence and really started increasing the volume of the work they were putting out, made major changes in their lives. I'm not saying we're directly responsible for that, but I like to think we have a little piece of that. And I think one thing that we do is we encourage those secret artists, those closet artists, those people that don't have that courage to come out and share their work, to really be like, hey, they're doing it and they're doing it, and I see all this stuff happening. I want to be a part of it too. And it sort of brings some of these people into the fold that are kind of hanging out in the background, that don't really feel like they have a place. They don't really feel welcome, or they just don't have the self-confidence to do what they want to do. And I think we help with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck. That piece of art is pretty amazing looking. So thanks. And thanks for
Isn't
being
it?
here.
And unfortunately, that artist has relocated last week out of state. So
Uh-oh.
we
Uh-oh.
lost him, but that's okay.
Uh-oh. We'll have to do some recruitment, get him back. All right. Next, we have Susan from Chewelah. Oh, Susan, you're muted.
Okay, so hi, I'm Susan Pedersen, and I also am just very new to the creative district and the process. And we moved here 3 years ago as the creative district here was being formed. And it's actually one of the reasons we were excited to come to this area, to think of it as a growing and progressive arts community was really exciting to us. I got involved as a community volunteer. I don't consider myself as an artist. I'm married to a crazy man who's an artist, but I ponder the word creative because I think it's just huge, and what it is, I think we're all always defining, and it isn't necessarily just an art project. So anyhow, when I was thinking about what it is that would represent sort of my journey with the creative district here in Chewelah, which is absolutely a gorgeous, beautiful rural community. We're so happy to be here. I saw a wonderful image of this girl. I don't know if you can see this. I sort of tried to redraw it. I know it's hard to see because it's just a sketch, right? But she is creating paper airplanes from the clouds and then sort of shooting them off into the sky. And so I just thought, for me, that's what it feels like. We're building this airplane as we fly it. It's learning by doing. I'm still catching up, trying to figure out what we're doing. So I went to the step-by-step, how do you make a paper airplane? And that was sort of my creative process. I actually didn't know how to make a paper airplane, so I failed a whole bunch of times before I actually got one that looks like a paper airplane, but it still doesn't fly perfect. So anyhow, for me, it's more process than it is product. And so it was fun to have that little task. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's more process than it is product. I love that. And just by the way, Susan, I've been making paper airplanes for my entire life, and I don't think I've ever gotten one to fly properly. I don't think that's the point of them, honestly. But thank you so much. Okay, and next we have our third district, which is Olympia. I should say, Chewelah and Olympia were very, very close. So they submitted their applications a day apart from each other. And I know there was a little bit of competition between them as to see who would get first, but it worked out that way. So, all right, so folks from Chewelah, if you can lower your hands, and then Olympia folks, if you can raise your hand to let me know that you're here. I see Desiree. Is there anyone else from Olympia that's here? I'm not sure that I'm seeing anyone, but if you are, please use the hand raise. Oh, use the hand raise feature if you can. So under reactions.
It's really funny. I don't have a hand raise. I have a
don't?
thumbs up or a clap or a.
You
so
don't have a button that
clapping.
says raise hand? It's at the bottom. There's like all the things, and then it just says raise hand.
I've got reactions. Oh, no. So anyway, I'm here.
Okay. All right, great. Well, so since you're talking, Mary Grace. We'll start with you.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I am Mary Grace Gaddu with the City of Olympia. I, until a week ago, was Olympia's Historic Preservation Officer. And I just took a new position with the city as the Cultural Access Program Manager. Olympia passed a cultural access measure last April. So I'm starting in that new position, but I'm continuing to help hold the creative district effort for the city of Olympia, along with a couple of other city staff. And fortunately, to our great advantage, we have Desiree as well. She is with our Olympia Downtown Alliance, and she is really leading the effort. So I'm going to let her talk. But I did make a little thing with my, I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it up on the edge of my notebook. Oh, well, this is a little, I'll try again. It's a little train, and it's on the track, and the track is not straight, and the track is many, the whole thing has many colors and many small parts and pieces that all have to fit together, sometimes not willingly. And I think that that's an apt metaphor for our creative district right now and the process that we're in. And I really like what someone said a few moments ago about process being really a lot of what this is all about. So with that introduction, I will hand it off to Desiree.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary Grace, and congratulations on your new role.
Thank you.
All right, Desiree, take it away.
Good morning. My name is Desiree Freeland. I am the Downtown Projects Manager for the Olympia Downtown Alliance, and I am charged with leading our process in the creative district. I'm fortunate to have good support and good relationships with folks like Mary Grace and others at the City of Olympia. I did not create anything, but I have been thinking since late yesterday afternoon when I got my box and realized the assignment of what I have or in this office that I think would represent our creative district. And this is what I came up with. And it's our Love Oli bumper sticker, because really through this process, one thing that has held true from our public engagement portion of the process through all of our advisory committee meetings and conversations and interviews and such is that there is deep, solid love for this community and what it represents for the varying creative sectors in this community. So I think Love Oli is appropriate for our creative district and what it wants to be.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Desiree. And that's great. I mean, you know, if you can create something, bring something. I know whenever I'm in a thing and they're like, draw a picture, I can't. Like, I'll draw stick figures and call it good. So Susan, when you said, I can't draw, and then you held up that thing with the actual drawing of, you know, you're not an artist, that I would maybe dispute your claim a little bit, but you know, because I literally can't draw like stick figures. So thank you so much. So we're going to go on to Langley. So folks from Langley, if you can use the raise hand feature so we can make sure we get all of you, that would be fantastic. Okay, so I see Joanne. Do we have anyone else that we have with us?
We may not have anyone else at this moment. I think Dina Duncan is going to be joining us.
Okay, great. So go
I'm
ahead,
in
Joanne.
right now.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're glad that you're here. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you. I'm Joanne Quintana, and I've been part of the creative district since we first decided that this was a good idea. So we've been through pulling everything together and the certification process, etc. I think we may be the smallest city, the smallest town. No,
I think Twisp is technically smaller than, like, with population than Langley.
okay.
Not by much, but just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little
So,
bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just under 1,000 and you guys are just over 1,000. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we're like 1,250 or something. But anyway,
Okay.
we're a tiny town, and we don't actually have a lot of things that larger cities have in terms of institutions to tap into. But our parent, and we are a project of the Whidbey Island. The Whidbey Island Center for the Arts, which people call WICA. And Dina is the executive artistic director, and she's going to be joining us in a while. I had thought about something to create, and I actually created a document, but I don't know if I can share it on the screen. Can I? If it's not printed out?
Adrian, maybe, is that something we can do? Do we have capabilities to do that?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but I know that if you emailed it to me real quick, I'd be able to share it on my screen.
Okay. That may, I think I'd have to get out of this and, nah.
Well, how about this, Joanne? Why don't you just
I will
send it,
describe
email it, and then we can share it to
Okay.
everybody when we do our post-event survey
Okay. So
stuff.
what I did is I put together a kind of collage of photographs of some of the things that we've been doing as a creative district, and also some of the things that already were here when we were certified. And I started thinking about the fact that what we're really doing with the creative district is taking things to another level in our community, because we were known as an art town and have been known as an art town for a long time. Sort of the roots of this community go back to an artist colony. And so it's kind of in the DNA of this community, and I started looking at things that were here, like edible gardens, where people come up and just munch on the food that's there, and City Hall is surrounded by an edible garden. And then there's a mural called a whodunit mural, because somebody in the night put it up. I'm sorry,
Joanne,
yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Adrian has it all set. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen really quickly, you can do that. And then we can just have everybody take a look at the pictures for a minute or two,
Okay.
or maybe 30 seconds or something.
All right.
Great. We're seeing the Zoom screen.
Okay. Somewhere I left it on my, let's see. Okay, so this is the dot. Can you see that?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, so
great.
In the far left corner is please help yourself.
We can just take a look, Joanne, if you want to. Just let us take a look, and then maybe scroll down so we could read what it says at the bottom.
Okay, it just says taking it to the next level. We have a long history here, etc. Yeah. So all I wanted to say about that is that we have this this community that has a history of this, and I think what we're proudest of is that it's not just a few people engaged in art, it's the whole community turning out for a lot of different things. And so we have people painting murals and participating in it, not just one artist. And I think that we're really proud of that. So
great, thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Joanne. All right, so next we have our folks up in Port Townsend. So Port Townsend folks, I see a couple of them on screen. You could use the hand raise. Joanne, if you can just lower your hand, so that way we can make sure that folks from PT. All right. Okay, so I just got a message from Mari who's saying that Mari Mullen is the director of the Port Townsend Main Street program for everybody and is the creative district administrator. She says, been having technical difficulties, not sure my audio is working. It says connect to audio and then doesn't. Sorry.
Let's
oh, I can hear you. There you go.
Okay, great.
Yay. Hi, Mari. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. I don't really have anything that's a symbol of our district, although our creative district in Port Townsend represents 5 disciplines. It represents the visual arts and literary arts, culinary arts, performing arts, and makers arts. And one of my volunteers came by yesterday and brought this rose that she made out of maple leaves, and it's just so beautiful. And if you could see it, anyways, we have just a very creative community, and from our volunteers to our working artists to our artists who our goal is to connect them with audiences and have a more year-round economy through the arts and not just have the seasonal work. And one of the great efforts we did this summer was to have the Sound Check Festival, which was a new kind of a reinvented arts event that was a week long prior to the Thing Festival. And we employed dozens of artists to across those disciplines to perform in Port Townsend. And it was a big success, and it's our new signature event for the Creative District, and it raised over $4,000 for the Creative District, which was fantastic. So that's a great start. And we want to capture that momentum and keep going and making it even better next year. And the other thing we're really excited about is the Tyler Plaza lighting project, which is happening now. And with the infrastructure grant through Arts Law and legislature, we're installing overhead lighting to the Tyler Plaza area. And then that's going to make that a more year-round space. And there's so much performance that goes on there, and buskers and theater performances and just vignettes. So there's a lot of activity there in the summer, but this will make it more inviting through the year. And I see Owen's here. So Owen, maybe you want to add some things in?
Sure, yeah. Here's a sound check brochure showing all the shows and events that we had during that week. I'm on City Council and also on the Creative District Steering Committee, and I've been part of this since we got started. And the item that I brought is actually from our unveiling of our art markers, which is our wayfinding project and kind of the launch of the Creative District. And this is, so our logo is the 5 art markers, sculptures that are physically delineating the district. And we have this little kit with various wooden parts that you can assemble and make your own art marker and decide what what kind of shape you want to build. So kind of like the kit that Annette sent us. In a way that also does symbolize the art markers themselves have not been fully accepted by the community, and we had some problems with vandalism and ended up painting them a different color, still having some problems, and trying to figure out how to kind of redirect that and help people see the positive value of what the Creative District does bring, things like sound check, rather than focusing on something that apparently people took as exclusive or elitist or something. So I hope that's not a common experience among creative districts, but if it is a common experience, we would appreciate any suggestions for how to move forward.
Great, thanks for that, Owen. yeah, if any folks who are in creative districts who have had a similar experience, I'm not sure that there are any that have, but if you have, feel free to just, connect with Owen offline, and then, you guys can take it from there. All right, so next we have TWISP. Is there anyone from TWISP here on the line with us?
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Jackson Mott, and I work with the town of TWISP as the administrator of the TWISP Creative District. And I'm also the executive director of Meadow Arts Alliance, an organization that's been here since 1983. It's really good to see all your faces today, by the way, and I can't wait until we are in a room together. So this will have to do for now. We were certified in 2020. So, it's been an interesting time since that happened and figuring out how to utilize a creative district to our advantage. We have a very strong foundation in the arts, and similar to what Mari said, we have visual arts, performing arts. We have so many makers that are creating new studios within our district. We also have a very broad range of other nonprofits that focus on affordable housing, social equity, climate change. So in our district, there's a very strong community feel. And there's been a lot of different types of marches and outward expression of what it means to be who we are. And the arts have been a factor and a catalyst in that expression. So when we have art walks and things like that, all of these other groups are participating in a very strong way. And we guide them through how to do that through the arts and how to involve youth and make it something that our residents and also cultural tourism and visitors want to partake in and really can see who we are as a town and as a district. One of the big pillars in our community is our students and youth involvement. Since the 80s and arts education instructors going away, we've worked with our schools and the community to ensure that arts education has a place and that we're raising kids that are strong leaders and problem solvers and are able to really have creative placemaking and take pride in utilizing the arts in whatever they choose to do. And so when I got my packet, I have an 8-year-old daughter. It was really exciting. I always let her open any box that we get. She's in 3rd grade and she opened it up and immediately took out the little blocks or Legos and made something. And we were talking about what the creative district is. And as she was making this, we were talking about what draws people to TWISP and what makes us want to stay here. And so I'm going to show you this little picture. So the white on the top is the T for TWISP, and she did this so quickly. So it kind of shows how kids have access to their imagination in a way that adults would just try to think too much about it. So the white, oops, I tried to tape it on there. The white is the new snow in the mountains. So we're based in the North Cascade Mountains, and that's what draws a lot of artists and cultural tourists to the region. And then it goes down into roots. So the bottom is brown and it's soil. And it shows that this T, TWISP, was based on a Salish term from the native tribe here, the Medha people. TWISP is the sound of the wasp wings, and that's what the word means. So all of these little yellow pieces are the wasps here, and the different colors of our nature and of our people. And we went on to talk about the cycle of life. What the wasp signifies for us is fish and salmon in our rivers and the cycle of life, and they eat, the spawning salmon. But that to me was just I honestly started crying when she did that. It was yeah, this is what we're all about. We're about all of us at any age understanding what creativity is and access to imagination and how we want to live in our creative districts in town. So I'll stop there. I could say a lot more, but that was my share moment.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amanda. That was really great. I love all the thought that your daughter put into that, and it's good to see you. So, all right, next we have Issaquah. So Issaquah folks, if you can raise your hand so that we know that you're here. Okay, I'm seeing, all right, Amy and Rachel and Leslie. All right, wonderful. It's good to see you all. So and Jen. All right, excellent. So we're gonna do it in that order. That's how you showed up on my screen. So we'll start with you, Amy, go for it.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Amy Dukes. I'm the Arts Program Administrator for the City of Issaquah. And we also were designated in 2020. Yes, very strange times. And I think we're the first King County Creative District. And I shared with Adrian a picture. So just wanted to share. So unfortunately, all of my creativity these days is pretty much directed towards being an arts administrator versus doing anything creative myself. I guess there is an art to that. And so this is a recent placemaking initiative that we've done in the district. And this is a mural by artist Will Schlau, and it's a wall mural, but also an asphalt mural. So that walkway goes all the way down to our train depot. So we've been focusing a lot on placemaking initiatives during our time where it's been kind of quiet with pandemic, keeping a lot of things closed for us until pretty recently. So this is one of our placemaking initiatives, and we have a lot more fun placemaking initiatives on the horizon. We're wrapping utility boxes with our Creative District logo. The City Council just approved huge investments into 2 park areas that are also in our Creative District. So we're really excited about those things. And I think I'm just gonna pass it off to Rachel for the sake of time. So thanks.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing that, Amy. It's good to see you.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I am the Vice Chair of the Issaquah Arts Commission and happily joined the advisory board for the Creative District about a year ago. And I am an art historian turned entrepreneur. I love to work on initiatives that bridge technology and the arts, and I'm happy to help with some of the data gathering we're doing with focus groups and other analysis around the Creative District. So in light of that, I brought a flashlight today because where we're at really with the Issaquah Creative District coming out of the pandemic, we're really about visibility. What can we do in terms of placemaking? What can we do in terms of PR? How can we start to show people what we have? So, and I'll hand it off to Leslie.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yep. I'm Leslie Marflug, and I've been with the Creative District since the beginning, 2019, and we became a district in 2020. We've been a community of the arts all along. We're kind of anchored by the Village Theater here. And I made a little, I don't know if you can see this. So I made this little sculpture, and this is my gateway to, so this is the gate here. Let's see. The gate opens up to the, Issaquah is kind of the gateway to the Alps because we have so much hiking and everything around here, but it's also the gateway to the arts. And so the Creative District, we're doing a lot of things to, since we've been a district in the last 2 years, to recruit creative businesses, and we're working with businesses on enhancing our community by doing a holiday light design. We have a strong commitment, as Amy mentioned, to public arts. We're doing murals and wrapping utility boxes, and so it's just kind of a gateway, and it's a conduit to help people recognize and make another commitment to the arts by having the Creative District. And we're, as Rachel said, we're just getting ready to launch a big promotion about that. So
fantastic. Thanks so much, Leslie. It's good to see you again. And finally, Jen.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jen Davis Hayes. I am the Economic Development Manager for the city, and so excited to be involved in the Creative District. When I worked in the city of Renton in the same role, always looked to Issaquah for all the amazing things happening. And one of the things we really coveted was Arts East and that organization. It was really sad for our community of Issaquah when they went away. And so the sharing I'm going to bring today is actually a piece of art that one of artists from Renton, who now lives in Whidbey Island, Britt McKenzie. And so this actual art piece, and it's kind of hard, I guess, you can do it many different ways and it creates many different patterns. And so even though Art East may have gone away, we're gonna pivot, as that lovely word of 2020. We're gonna change and we're gonna be something different and more. And so that's really exciting. And I'm glad to be involved with this group of women and others in the creative district. And again, coming from economic development perspective, it's a really important part of our economy, as you know, and our community. And so yay, creative districts.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Jen. Thanks to all of you for being here. And then we have our last of the 2020 cohort. So that would be Tenino. So folks from Tenino, if you can raise your hand, and folks from Issaquah, if you can lower your hand. That way we can make sure we get all the folks from Tenino and we don't repeat. All right, so I see George and Bob. So George, go ahead, introduce yourself. It's good to see you.
So I'm George Sharp. I'm the Rural Program Manager for the Thurston Economic Development Council. The Economic Development Council has a contract with the city of Tenino for me to serve as the Creative District Manager. And the Creative District is a partnership also with the Tenino Area Chamber of Commerce, Tenino Arts, a nonprofit, and then also Tenino Young at Heart Theater. I created a T out of that, what Annette sent us, and that's for Tenino, but also to represent a hammer that our Tenino stone carvers use to carve stone. And they have a shop here called the Tenino Shed that they have open on Fridays and Saturdays. And so people can come and learn about the industry that was here 100 years ago. I also brought a picture of our city hall and Tenino spelled out in sandstone. And they also have a Tenino stone carver replica in the background of that. I brought, this is what our Creative District area is, which is our major downtown area. And then I brought that our next project is the holiday market. We created a holiday market in 2020 that was for 6 weeks long. It generated $76,000 in sales for 30 local artisans. Then we did it again in the March of 2021 and again in November of 2021. And we went to 3 weekends. This weekend, we're going to do the market again on Thanksgiving weekend of this year. We have 30 artisans signed up. We had 39 artisans apply. And so we had a selective jury process to do that. And then one of the persons I like to promote, and this is Donna Taylor Mayo's artwork. And she takes glass that would go into recycling, into the landfill. And she has a format where she creates a mold out of wax. And then she lays that glass on top of that, and then has a kiln that melts that down. And she travels to many of yours like Edmonds and Anacortes and other big art shows representing Tenino. And she is kind of part of the glue of what makes the Tenino Creative District happen, and a great partner. She's the one that creates all the images for us, for example, for that. And then I'll hand it off to Bob McKenzie Sullivan.
Awesome. Thanks, George. I think George wins the day for the most stuff brought. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, George. We all got a little empty book and you probably can't see anything, but oh, there it is a little bit. I drew a little diagram. I'm not a visual artist, a fine artist at all. I'm a performer, plays and music. Anyway, I just had symbols. I've got the theater in the corner there, and that horseshoe represents one of our metal artisans who's just beautiful stuff. We have painters, and then I have Donna's glass there in the corner. And the Creative District is an opportunity to whirl us all together so we're not all out there struggling and doing our own thing, but really working together to make things happen. And we just have really begun our official meetings under the city charter and all that kind of stuff. And we're also including in that, It's Arch is the name of the commission, which includes art, recreation, culture, and history. So we've had some wonderful things this summer. We had Railroad Days, and one of our folks wrote a little play, which Night Young at Heart Theater did a Reader's Theater version of right there on the spot. We had musicians there that day. There's just a lot of wonderful things happening. And if we're working together, it's easier to do them.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, George and Bob. It's great to see you both. All right. So next, we have folks from Rainier Valley. So Rainier Valley, if you all, I think I saw some folks from Rainier Valley. So if you can use the hand raise tool to let me know that you're there. All right, so far I see Afua and Evan. I know that Kathy was going to be coming a little bit late. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Afua. It's good to see you.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Afua Kuyate, and we're with the Adefua Cultural Education Workshop, who are the administrators of the Rainier Valley Creative District. Adefua stands tall. We've been doing our work here for we're moving into our 39th year right here in Rainier Valley. So we're really connected in with the community. And so the beautiful part of our work as the Rainier Valley Creative District is that we're committed to unifying the 5 neighborhoods in Rainier Valley. Which is Columbia City, Hillman City, Brighton, Dunlap, and Rainier Beach. And each of these communities are very strong in their own ways, and they're very comfortable being separated. And so our work would really be about how we come together. And in addition to coming together as a community, but coming together with all the richness and arts and culture that resides in this neighborhood. Because in Seattle, most of our events take place like downtown Seattle, at the Seattle Center, where it's a beautiful place for us to convene, but it's very costly in terms of parking and transportation to get there, when a lot of the artists, people of color, are in Rainier Valley. So we're very proud to be able to start collaborating and working into events being just right outside our doors. Currently, Adefua is partnering in with A Living Legacy. It's another entity that has come into the Brighton neighborhood, and so it's like a museum that will bring a lot of arts and culture. And so it's really it's a lot for us to say that we can do it on our own. So we have like partnering organizations and artists that are joining in with us. I just wanted to say, in terms of these logos, these Legos, this reminds me of Artswa. All these colors, to me, it just brings me back to that beautiful logo of Artswa. So when I started thinking, like, what can I create out of these logos? It's like, well, I can't create the logo. I'm just going to say what I feel, right? But I also wanted to share, we have programming that is very solid in terms of how we go, into the communities, and we and we work with arts and culture, right? So one of our programs is called African Arts for All to See. And we go, it's an educational based programming where we're in the communities, we're in schools. And so this one sharing that I have for everyone is when we went to this school, I don't want to say the name, but it's for young boys who are incarcerated. And we talk about arts and culture, and their responsibility is that they show and that they master some part of our programming. one of the young boys, he went back and he painted, the vision of what we've shared with him. This is a bird that's called the Sankofa bird. And this bird tells the story of our intentions of reaching back to our culture. This is the back of the bird. The bird is moving forward, but he's turning around and fetching his past at the same time. And this young boy painted it. I didn't ask him to. There was no expectations for him to create anything visual, because our work is a lot of movement, it's a lot of conversation, and it's a lot of spirit. And this is what he brought to us, was the Sankofa bird. And so I want to share this with you. And I feel that we were able to break through some really good energy that will last him, hopefully many years in the work that we do. So it's really about us collaborating with artists, families, being an extension of the households and teaching arts and culture to not just children, but to their families who may not have an opportunity to have this as a luxury, so we're excited. And then I'll pass the rest off to Evan.
Great, thanks for sharing that, Afua. It's good to see you again.
You too, thank you.
Thank you so much, Afua. Always a pleasure. My name is Evan Berg. I use he, him. I am the secretary for the Rainier Valley Creative District. I'm also a member of the executive board. And then in terms of just who I am mostly a local arts administrator and musician here in Seattle. Afua spoke on the premise of unifying communities and culture. And that is, of course, that is exactly what we do here at Rainier Valley Creative District. And the thing I kind of wanted to speak about a little bit was this idea of who our community is made up of. Yes, we have artists, and yes, we are, a structure to support arts and culture. But when you really get down to it, what that is that's people. And what we're supposed to do here is to support people. When you work for a neighborhood and a group of neighborhoods as diverse as the Rainier Valley, the art is there, the culture is there. These are very diverse and culturally deep neighborhoods. And so when it comes down to it, my work is about supporting these people, making sure that they have access to resources, making sure that they get to stay living there. This is Seattle we're talking about. Gentrification is a real and present issue, and one that needs to be combated pretty intensely and intentionally every single day. And so when it comes to supporting the people, the artists who live there, that's kind of our main goal, our main premise. We're a relatively, we've been around, Rainier Valley Creative District has been around for a year and some change. We're still really thinking about different structures on how we can contribute to our community. For example, last weekend, we had a volunteer and membership drive for local Rainier Valley organizations. And some of them were arts organizations, yes, like the Union Cultural Center and Seattle World Percussion Society, but others were human services, such as Southeast Youth and Family. And I really do believe in that breadth of scope when it comes to supporting the community, because if you don't have your basic needs covered, then you're not going to be able to make art. And so that's a big part of our mission. And what I wanted to kind of share around that, around both supporting on all levels, unifying arts and culture, I want to share a picture from an event that we supported over the summer. Hopefully you can all see that. It should be Afua there, shining brightly as always. with her family actually playing instruments in the back. This was a performance of the Adafu Educational Cultural Workshop in conjunction with the Seattle World Percussion Society at Folk Life. And as you can see, this was part of their educational programs where the youth from the community are the performers, first and foremost. Yes, they were there supporting them, making sure that everything went fine in the back, but there was the youth there front and center. And so when we talk about unifying communities and we talk about making sure that everyone is supported, it also starts there, the youth, and making sure that they have what they need to succeed and be safe and flourish. And so, you know, this is a lot of flowery prose that I'm going with here, but it is truly what I believe, and it's truly what I believe we need to be doing. So that's just what I wanted to share. Just that image there felt very representative of our work and what we want to be doing.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing that. It's good to see you both. Next, we have folks from Bainbridge.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, Inez and Stefan.
Howdy.
And Asa. All right. So Inez, why don't you kick it off?
Sure. So we got certified last October, so we're relatively new, but I think we've been as active as we can be in the time allotted. So I wanted to share, maybe Stefan can go into some of the things we've been doing. I wanted to share my vision of, so this is our logo. And as you can tell, maybe you can or can't, it is a play on Alexander Calder, who is a kinetic artist. So the idea of that inspired me to create this little guy after, after our logo using the pencil. So the idea that I see represented here is it's kinetic, it's not static, it's movable, it's fun, it's flexible, it's whimsical. And so it's also anything that's kinetic is propelled by its own equilibrium. And I think that speaks to our creative district and what we aspire to do and become. We're in a fun place. And my co-chair, I should have mentioned, I am the executive director of Arts and Humanities Bainbridge. So I represent the arts, and my co-chair over there represents business, because our whole motto is to bridge arts and business to make Bainbridge Island a vital place to live, work, and visit. So, Stefan?
Hello, I'm Stefan Goldby. I'm the president of the Bainbridge Chamber of Commerce. So I will be hunting down my Edmonds person at the chamber conference that starts tomorrow for the rest of the week. So yeah, I guess for mine, I was going to share a screen, but having seen what that takes, we're not doing that anymore. So mine is a photo that I took the first week I was on the island, which basically symbolizes that there's so much more going on Bainbridge if you look behind the trees. And also, you know, a big part of the creative district from my perspective is to shine a spotlight. There's so many incredible things going on our island, and there are artists almost at the end of every driveway, one way or another, or at least creatives. So to be able to spotlight that and showcase it for the world is sort of one piece of us. The other part is to support and nurture those artists, whether it's creating new facilities, whether it's connecting up and coming artists with the professional people that can help their career and sort of professionalize their passion, if that's a path that they want to take. I should say that I spent 25 years in the music industry on the video and media side of it before coming to Bainbridge. So one of the things that sort of annoyed me when I got here was that a lot of people on Bainbridge treat artists of all levels as if it's a cute hobby. I actually saw somebody talking about their new exhibition at the Met and have someone go, "Oh, that's lovely. Are you excited about that?" So yeah, we try and underpin all these different things. And I guess if we're doing an event rundown, you know, we're trying to unite our community around this. We did have a launch for kind of the dignitaries and the people that helped make this happen on July 3rd. And then in September, and Annette was lucky and was nice enough to come help us. We had a full day event with everything from music to poetry to dance to interpretive, everything else. That was pretty incredible, and this kind of served as a jumping off point for our community and the things that the Creative District can do. So that should lead to next year, we're going to do a week-long version of that, which is all the cool places for the arts on Bainbridge doing things simultaneously so that we can kind of showcase that to the outside world.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Stefan. And I would have been there on July 3rd. Yeah, Asa was here, but I don't know. Maybe he got kicked off. Not sure. Asa, if you're still there. Oh, awesome. Okay,
Hi,
great.
everybody. My name is Asa Rabin. I am the Creative District Manager for the Bainbridge Creative District. And I was planning on saying everything that Inez and Stefan said, but they already said it. So.
Ace is the power behind the throne on Bainbridge that actually gets the things done.
Awesome. That's good to know. Great. It's great to see all of you all again. And yes, that event in September was fantastic. I would have been there in July, except COVID had other plans for me instead. So unfortunately. All right. So we have the last but not least of our old certified creative districts before we get on to our new ones, or our most recent ones. So we have SoCo. So if you are around and can introduce yourselves real quick, that'd be awesome. So I see Stephanie and Rohana. All right, awesome. So Stephanie, take it away.
Hi, I'm Stephanie with the Historic Downtown Kennewick Partnership. So I'm the director of the Main Street program that is partnering with the city, and we're incubating our creative district program here in downtown Kennewick. So I haven't had a chance to really play with stuff like this in the past, but I made a couple of little funky things. So this is my attempt at making a lantern. And that's because our kind of emblem of our creative district is a lantern, because we want to shine a light on the arts in our downtown community. Our art community is very much rooted in kind of the blue collar working arts, the arts that you maybe might not see in a museum, but they're the arts that are a part of our lives. So we have painters and tile glazers. We have designers, we have architects, we have metal workers, we have a whole range of kind of working class artists where the art that they make is a part of our everyday lives. And we wanted to celebrate and honor that, as well as recruit the more traditional arts and showcase the traditional artists that are living in our community because they can afford to live in our part of the community. You might see their art around the Tri-Cities or around the country, but they're living in our community. So we wanted to shine a light on that and for foster our community. That's kind of the heart of our creative district mission. And we've recently had our first SoCo Creative Arts Festival. It's a festival of festivals. It happened on September 24th. And that was a fantastic festival because we were able to partner with our fabric art textile community. So we had a whole quilt show. It was the So Inspired Quilt Festival, the Southeastern Washington Quilt Festival. We also had a woodworking street sale. So we worked with a local woodworker, Jody White's Furniture, and he brought in woodworkers from all over the Pacific Northwest to come and show their work and sell it in the streets. We closed down Kennewick Avenue. We partnered with the Columbia Wine Village. They had a late night market. We partnered with our winemakers. We also, for the first time, worked with a bunch of artists who normally aren't seen or respected in our community. We made a connection with a local graffiti artist and muralist, and we were able to work with him, Gabriel Ramirez, to bring in about 40 graffiti artists from around the Pacific Northwest, and we were able to match them with a business who owned their building. And we have this amazing kind of kaleidoscope tapestry on the side and back of an entire building of all of these different graffiti artists. And it identified a need that we had for this particular artist community in the Tri-Cities and in Kennewick, is that they don't have a place to show their art. So we're working on a program to help activate some legal walls where individuals can come and they can paint. And we had some amazing work come out of this. So we're excited for this to maybe become an annual thing where every year this building owner is going to let them kind of redo the wall. So that was a fantastic relationship that we built. So it's not just murals, it's also reaching out to a community that normally isn't recognized for the work that they do and can bring to the community. And looking towards the future, as we grow our relationship with our winemaking community in our district. We have a winery, Monarca or Palencia, and he's very attached to the idea of the monarch butterfly. So the monarch butterfly, of course, does come through here in the fall, which is in great timing with our Creative Arts Festival timeline. And so we're looking at kind of the growth of this community and how we can bring artists, help bring the monarchs back to our community and continue to showcase this kind of thriving population, this artist ecosystem that we're growing here in downtown Kennewick.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephanie. All right, Rohanna.
Hello, good morning. My name is Rohanna Carmichael. I am the Economic Development and Marketing Specialist for the City of Kennewick, and I'm the staff liaison for our Kennewick Arts Commission, and then the co-chair for the Creative District. So what I made, might be kind of hard to tell, it's like our little streetscape, and like down here, because a lot of what the city does is kind of the boring, streets, infrastructure kind of thing. So if we just were left to ourselves, we'd have this boring, like brown gray street. But then you bring in all the arts and the artists and all our creative people, and they just make all this colorful, exciting things happen in our district. And a lot of what we do for SoCo and a lot of the events that happen in Kennewick for the Creative District are happening out on our streets and our community. We have really great weather here in Eastern Washington most of the year. So for most of the year, a lot of the things that we can do, we are shutting down the streets, and it is happening outside, because in our district, we don't have any large venues or anything like that to have a lot of these performances or art demonstrations. So we are utilizing what we do have, and that's a lot of our outdoor spaces. So like Stephanie had said, she's working really hard on bringing more of these artists out, like our graffiti artists. We're working with one, hopefully, to bring some murals to a skate park, which definitely isn't a group that the city has a ton of experience working with. We put in the skate parks, but we don't really know who's using them. They get used. They do get graffiti that's not great. So we're trying to work with them and see if we can bring some art that is approved, that kind of brings the community, that sector of our community together and really embraces like the space. So from the city side, we're excited to do these projects that kind of bring the community together. And yeah, just like what Stephanie said, we have a lot of business owners that are in the creative sector, but not the typical thing when you think of as art. We have coffee roasters and web designers and things like that, winemakers. So we have a very diverse artist community here that a lot of people in our area don't really think about when you think of actual art.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Rohanna and Stephanie. It's good to see you both. Okay, so now we're going to get on to introducing our two newest creative districts. And then after that, we're going to take a little bit of a break so everybody can stretch and get more coffee. We'll have a long enough break so that you could brew more coffee if you need to. But we want to make sure that we can give some extra special welcome and love to our newest districts. So I'm going to do a quick intro of them and then turn it over to them to go ahead and talk some more about them. So Adrian, if you can just share screen really quickly, just forward to the Moses Lake slide, that would be great. All right, so we're going to focus on Moses Lake and Burien, who are our two newest creative districts. They were both certified this year in 2022. So first we're going to talk about Moses Lake. So probably most of you know where Moses Lake is, but in case you don't, or if you're relatively new to Washington, Moses Lake is in central Washington. It's in Grant County. It's on a really enormous, beautiful lake in the middle of the desert. It's a freshwater lake, which the first time I came to Washington kind of blew my mind because the water smell was very evocative of the freshwater lakes in the Midwest where I am from. So it's really cool little oasis kind of in the middle of kind of a desert area. So Moses Lake was certified in April of 2022. And, on screen, we just see a couple of the things that are happening. There's some sculptures, some events that go on. There's a really great sort of amphitheater in Moses Lake that's a gathering point for a lot of folks. And I'm going to actually turn it over to the Moses Lake folks. So if you're from Moses Lake, put your hand up, use the raise hand thing. And then if you're not from Moses Lake, please lower your hand. And Adrian, let's go ahead and stop sharing so we can give the folks from Moses Lake an opportunity to talk a little bit about their community. So are there some folks from Moses Lake here? All right, so I see Sean. Rohana, if you can lower your hand, please, that would be great. All right, Sean and Jenny. And so we'll go ahead and have you all start. So we'll start with you, Jenny. I think Dolly was here a minute ago, but I think she might be gone now. So.
Yeah, Dolly had to step out. So
okay.
My name's Jenny Shelton. I work for the City of Moses Lake. I'm the Creative Programs Coordinator. I'm new to this. I got this position in June. And like you said, our creative district was certified in April. And so Moses Lake is smack dab in the middle of the state. We have lots of sunshine. We got our package yesterday afternoon. So this morning I attempted to make a clock tower. If I move my head, you can kind of see that's our 3rd Avenue. It's kind of in the middle of our creative district. It's a little roundabout. We have a little public square behind it and it's a clock. So I attempted to make it as well with the little bricks. There's the music that we have down there. We do have some public art already. Moses Lake recently passed a 1% for the arts ordinance. So we're kind of excited to use that to help along the creative district process. We're looking at doing some murals, all sorts of fun stuff.
Awesome.
And,
Thanks so much, Jenny.
Yeah,
all
let
right,
Sean
and then
take over.
Sean, go for it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Cardwell, and I am the co-chair of the Moses Lake Creative District. I'm also co-chair or vice chair of the Grant County Tourism Commission and executive director of Columbia Basin Allied Arts. It's a largely performing arts nonprofit based in Moses Lake. And when Jenny said Moses Lake is in the smack dab middle, I thought she was going to say of nowhere, because that's kind of how it seems, as opposed to the middle of Washington. We're really at least an hour away from any major services. That would be Tri-Cities or Wenatchee. And yet there's a ton of really creative communities around Moses Lake and in Grant County. And Moses Lake is really, I think, kind of seen as the economic center of Grant County. And so to start highlighting the fact that there's a lot of creativity already happening in Moses Lake is, I think, our goal. Our logo that we're working on, and Dolly would definitely speak to this if she was here, it was kind of her idea, is that whenever we talk about the creative district or all the artists here are the museum, also everyone's really surprised. And so a big part of our logo is the exclamation mark at the end, like, surprise, we're all here. And so I think that really our goal is going to be connecting all the pieces that are already here and highlighting them, and really trying to serve the community that's already here. And then making sure that, that we're doing that and that we're highlighting all of them. And so I didn't get the package, but I just kind of keep my hands busy sometimes. And I just wanted to show you all this. It's a stick that I put beads on, and it's kind of my therapy lately. And when I have like things on my mind or significant events that are happening to friends, I use this sort of thing to keep my mind focused on that and think of all the pieces and parts that go into it. And so I think it's a lot like the little mini play pieces that were given out of just the little parts that make up a bigger picture. And we're really excited to be here. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sean and Jenny, for introducing yourselves, and thanks for joining us at your first Creative District convening. And then, so we're going to let our most recent Creative District, we're going to introduce them here in just a second. So Adrian, can you share screen really quickly so we can just let some folks see some of the things that are happening in Burien? So Burien is our most recent Creative District. They were just certified barely 2 months ago. So they're very, very, very new. And, you know, Burien's located in the central Puget Sound. So it's in South King County. So it's kind of between Seattle and Tacoma. If you're trying to visualize where it is on sort of the south, I guess that would be sort of west part of King County. And they have been working on their Creative District initiative. They started before COVID, or right at the beginning of COVID, and that kind of, as we all know, COVID did what it did. So, you know, and they were able to get through the process this year, and it's been really kind of a great and fun project, you know, to participate with them. Burien, much like some of our other Creative Districts, is extremely diverse. You know, socioeconomically and ethnically and all of that. So they have a unique kind of vibe at their Creative District. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. So if you're from Burien, raise your hand. Jenny, if you can lower yours, that way we can make sure we give everybody an opportunity. All right, awesome. I see 4 folks from Burien. So I'm going to start with Annie. So why don't you start it off and then we'll go from there.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is so exciting to be here. My name is Annie McGrath, and I'm the president of the Seattle Southside Chamber of Commerce, and we're the administrators for the Burien Creative District. As Annette said, we are the newest district, having been certified just 2 months ago. And I will add to all of the folks here this morning who are new. I had the delight of coming in as the new president at the chamber here. I think the week that it was announced that we had been certified. So this has been a really fun and exciting project that many, many people have been working on for years. As Annette said, it's been about a 2.5-year process, bringing the community together to get to this really exciting point. So we're really happy to be here at the convening today and looking to learn from all of you and all of the incredible things that you've been doing in your districts as we really start to like dig into this project. So for my item, I used Legos because who doesn't want an excuse to play with Legos? And so what I have here is a group of very diverse and community-minded people who have come together to connect around a project. And now we have this really great tool in our community that's going to amplify all of the amazing things that are happening in Burien already. As I said, it was a massive community project with a lot of diverse voices at the table, both in terms of, you know, creative backgrounds and just backgrounds and, you know, everybody's what perspectives that they bring to the table. And now we see that we have this incredible opportunity to really amplify what's going on in Burien, let people know about it, continue to bring the community together around the arts economy, and you know, bring visitors in, attract investments, and just really connect and continue to grow the arts economy in Burien. And so with that, I will turn it over to the people who actually have been doing the work to get this project off the ground in Burien for the last couple of years.
Awesome, thanks, Annie. So we'll go ahead and go over to Samantha. So Sam, if you want to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Thank you, Annette, and thank you, Annie, for that.
You're there. It looks like you might be stuck. Oh, there we go.
Can you see me? Am I okay? Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Sammy Lay, and I am the Executive Vice President.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. I am the Executive Vice President for the Seattle Southside Chamber of Commerce. And so anybody who's going to be at the WCC conference tomorrow, I will see you there. as Annie mentioned, we are relatively new to this, and so we're really excited to learn and hear from everyone, all of the veterans that have been doing this work and seeing how everyone's carved out their creative economy. Burien is so vibrant with a lot of different art cultures and their demographic, the community there is just so diverse and beautiful. So we're so excited to be able to uplift that community with the extra resources from being a designated arts district. But the true heroes are our co-chairs, Virginia and Andrew, who are here today. So we're really excited that they're able to join and participate in today's program. Thank you.
I'm going to just step in here. I'm not sure what happened to Annette, but so I'm Virginia Wright. I'm one of the two co-chairs of the Burien Creative District Committee. I've been involved in this project for a couple years. It's been a really exciting process, and we're very excited about finally getting to the point where we're official. Burien is a really vibrant community with a lot of different types of arts, from visual arts to performing arts. And we have, of course, a lot of cultural diversity as well. I didn't actually receive the box, but so I didn't make anything, but I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that it would be sort of a thing, sort of a mosaic that shows sort of a selection of some of the major sub-communities that exist for us, and representative of the different arts mediums as well. And that's sort of the way I see our city. I think that one of our challenges is just making sure that the people within Burien and also outside of Burien know really all of the exciting things that are going on here. And I feel like the Creative District will help facilitate that. And we appreciate the chamber being sort of our parent organization with that. Andrew?
Thank you. Sorry, I also forgot to share my little piece.
Oh.
I made a rainbow.
Very cute.
So that's all.
I'm not going to take up a whole lot of time. I'm just going to plus one of everything that Annie and Samantha and Virginia have said. I've been excited to be a part of Burien. I moved there actually from Seattle in 2018 and got involved with this process. And so it's wonderful to see this coming to be. The thing that I've done as an actor and as an arts administrator for years is that I built something with little blocks, and then I didn't like it. And then I drew something and I didn't like it. So instead, what I did was I took a picture of my bookshelf, which, by the way, rivals Owen's. It's right there. Because to me, that spoke a lot about what the Burien Creative District means to me. There's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of ability. And now it's just a matter of kind of pulling the books down and reading them and figuring out where they need to go and putting it into some sort of cohesive function. So that was my my example of things that I did. So thank you, everyone.
I think we've lost Annette.
I think we did.
Well, I am still here. I got kicked off there for a moment, so hopefully Annette will be showing up. I think it might have actually had something to do with the state network, actually. So we were headed straight into a coffee break, so this might be a really good opportunity. I've only just come back, so was anyone still needing to share? No? Okay, then let's go into our 10-minute coffee break, and hopefully Annette will be back with us very shortly. So feel free to get up, stretch, do what you need to do. I'm going to set a timer and I'll share my screen, and we'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Adrian, can you hear me okay? Adrian?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Did you get
great.
kicked
Yeah.
off too?
Yeah, like Zoom completely froze. I'm actually, my entire computer